After our beautiful water ceremony last Sunday, I've continued to sit with that image of the self nourished by water, filled by tenderness, pouring out help and hope to the world. And then I get up in the morning and read the news and soon discover that I've sprung a leak and that water is trickling steadily away. The world feels out of control these days, full of these fires, both literally and metaphorically. And my bucket is low and there's not enough water. And I think that's true for all of us, really. We only have so much water in our buckets at any one time. And if I pour it out here and there in too many directions, I'm empty too soon, and those fires just keep on smoking and smoldering. And my own personal truth is that my bucket does drain easily these days, and that only frustrates and agitates me more. And so I've been taking a lot of deep breaths this week, trying to call forth those healing waters. And I had some comfort in these words from the United Methodist educator, Suzanne Stabile. What's mine to do and what's not mine to do? What's mine to say and what's not mine to say? And what's mine to care about and what's not mine to care about? The question of what is mine to do reminds me that it's not all about me. I don't have to respond and do it all. What's mine to say reminds me to be aware of when my opinion is needed and when it's just me liking the sound of my own voice. And reading the news, I most often ask myself the final question: what's mine to care about? Because I can only care about so much in any one day. That bucket is draining, and it's better for me to focus on what matters to me and where I have avenues for action. And this isn't to say that all of the fires currently going on in the world, literally and metaphorically, aren't important and need response and need action. It's just that no one single individual can care about them all. And the truth is that I might even have to choose between the issues that I do care about. It's an ongoing discernment, and it's a difficult one, because I think most people are carrying a heavier burden these days. Our buckets are draining a little faster, and that makes it all the more important to make judgments about our time and energy. And I need to remind myself that it's okay to keep my focus limited, letting go of that need to respond or sometimes even to know, so that I can give more of the water in my bucket to meaningful issues that are needful to me in this moment. And so it's not just about self-care, although it's good to prioritize what your body or mind or spirit needs to be refreshed. That's part of it. But I've also realized that when I keep my bucket fuller, it keeps my heart kind. As my internal bucket drains, I find I also lose my patience. I easily find fault with others, and I become a moral superior. Think things to myself like, how can other people be so stupid? And that moral superiority is a tricky feeling for me, because to be honest, I like feeling superior. It feels good, smug, secure, sure of my own righteousness. Doubt fades away and strong certainty keeps me going. But as Unitarian Universalists, we don't live in a world of certainty and superiority. We've chosen to see the world of entanglement and doubt and many sides. And while at times this is a source of regret, because I am certain I am right about so many, many things, most of the time I'm glad. I like the interdependent web much more than a hierarchy of beings with rich white people at the top. I like life that is complex and full of nuance, that takes time to understand, to know that to be inclusive, we have to be mindful. And I was brought up short in a conversation with colleagues about vaccine passports this week, being gently reminded that our religion is a religion of dissent, that we have pledged to have an anti-racism lens, and that we claim to treat everyone with respect. And it was a good reminder to me that I don't know everyone's stories, that not everyone hesitant to get a vaccine is alt-right, that people who arrive here as refugees, Black and Indigenous people, have good reason to distrust authority, and others just prefer natural health approaches. And I don't get to judge or dismiss them. Doesn't mean that I can't make difficult decisions. It just means I have to approach those decisions with care. And so I'm reminded that I need to keep my bucket of water replenished and refreshed so that I can hold on to that compassion. And remember that while I may disagree, I can do so with respect, and that there are always nuances to understand. And I know this isn't easy, especially when it comes to issues of health and safety, and conversations get so quickly heated and uncomfortable. They're difficult, and sometimes we just can't listen. But I do know that relationships fray when managed with judgment and condemnation, and that relationships grow when managed with compassion, even when there is genuine difference. What is mine to do? What is mine to say? What is mine to care about? When I can answer these questions, it helps me keep my bucket filled. And as we listen to a musical gift now from my colleague, Lynn Harrison, I invite you to consider the state of your bucket and how you might keep it refreshed in these pandemic, these difficult times with the world on fire. And this is where I find myself wanting to be good and wanting to be right, to have all the answers and so have my control. And it's a particular challenge for religious folks. I know that I can sometimes veer into being a warrior for good. So sure, I'm right. I become a blunt force. I don't always see that I'm missing the complexity, that my right might not be right for someone else. And that I can also just mess up, as we can see with our Zoom links today. It has been an episode of learning that no matter how much we try to control and double check and triple check those links, sometimes I can't get it right. Keeping my internal bucket full helps, but that's not always possible. No one is well-grounded and calm and compassionate all of the time. Even my loving and contented dog goes into a frenzy when he sees the skunk in the backyard. So we need self-care, but we also need community care. We need each other to call us back, to remember that we're entangled and everything is complicated and connected, and we're just trying to muddle through it all together. Living in an interdependent web means that thinking in patterns of right and wrong are too limited. It's the wrong approach to life, however appealing it may be, however much those old patterns of rightness come back to play. Because I really do like being right. But it really is more important to remember that we're all in this together. And community care helps me shift out of my righteous goodness and back into messy relationship. That doesn't mean that decisions can't be made or actions taken. There will be difficult conversations and difficult choices to make, but to try and do so with compassion and care. That community care keeps us all together. And at its most simple, it's just about being there for one another, being willing to reach out when you see someone is struggling, to send a text or pick up some groceries for an ill neighbor. And community care is especially important in marginalized groups who may face greater limitations on their access to personal supports. Our Pathway Breakfast Club has been practicing community care throughout the pandemic. When the morning breakfast for the kids in the apartment building had to be shut down, the Pathway team offered groceries delivered to the door instead. We also have many UCM folks working with the Compass Food Bank in Port Credit, redistributing resources and supporting those in need. There are concrete ways to provide community care that are just simple and obvious: to check in with people. If you haven't seen a friend in a while, reach out and make a specific offer. If you know someone is having a hard time, name what you can do for them to drive them to an appointment take them out for coffee and a walk, help clean their apartment. Empathize. This is a really key aspect of community care because we all want to be seen and heard. And empathy is understanding and feeling what someone else is feeling. It's a way to validate them. And this one takes time, and it can be really challenging when there is a difference, when there are deep divisions. But a core truth of Unitarian Universalism is that community care is as vital as self-care, that we need both to live well on this interdependent earth. And so we try and do the work. Here at UCM, we prioritize community care by checking in at the start of meetings. As people feel comfortable sharing how they're really feeling, trust builds and we know each other better. It's a small thing, but it can be invaluable to someone having a bad day, to name it out loud in a caring group. And I know it can be frustrating at times for people who are used to meetings that are only about the work to be done, and it can make people feel vulnerable and uncomfortable. But check-ins help us to be a chalice community. So we check in with each other, we help each other in specific ways, and we try to offer empathy. And finally, community care includes affirming one another. Storyteller Dan Yashinsky tells a story about Bernard, a resident at Baycrest Health Sciences in Toronto, and he's had a terrible stroke and now living at Baycrest. And Bernard can't walk or talk any longer, but every day he wears a beautiful sweater thanks to his wife, Susan. Susan has made sure that Bernard is dressed as the handsome, sweet-tempered man she knew him to be all of his life. And she tells staff stories of Bernard so that they know who he is as well, even when he can't communicate any of that himself. And when the staff and Bernard and Susan were sitting together one day, Dan brought up Bernard's sweaters as being kind of banners of love, signaling Susan's care for her husband. Another staff member echoed what he said and said how wonderful it was to see Susan coming in every day with Bernard. And another staff member said she noticed the same thing and so appreciated the beautiful sweaters and Susan. Dan just said, what did it feel like to notice that many staff had noticed her loving care of Bernard and were honoring her for it? It feels good, she said. Very good. So important to appreciate and affirm one another. Community care is obvious, it's simple, and it's difficult to live every day in our lives. It's a process. We can't always help each other. We can't always be present and empathic. We forget to offer praise and appreciation. But even if I can't do it that day, there may be someone else in the community who can. We take turns helping one another. We can trust that the community holds us all as we are and that others will manage when we can't. You know, this fall as UCM, as we begin and come together, it feels like we're in a bit of disarray with Zoom links and all. Over the pandemic lockdown, some of our systems have slipped a little. We have key positions, volunteer positions that are open. There's gaps. And that's normal. So many of us are exhausted. We've lost dear members who've given us so much. And despite our best efforts on Zoom, we're all a little disconnected. And we are still a healthy and thriving chalice community. As we spend more time together in person, we are regenerating. There is good energy buzzing in several places. We're being intentional about our process. New activities are arising. We are doing well, and it is all thanks to all of you who have kept showing up on Zoom over and over again. All of you taking care of the building and the property and our procedures. All of you taking care of one another and the larger community. All of you keep this chalice community whole and full. It's an honor and a privilege to be your minister. And I hope you feel affirmed Despite differences, despite difficult conversations and decisions, I hope you all feel affirmed and part of this Chalice community. It's a verklempt day. And so as we go forward into this glorious season of fall, into this season of opportunity, as we get to be together and renew, may we continue to do what we do well, being a community of care, checking in, helping out, offering empathy, and affirming one another. So say we all.